Hello, welcome to another IELTS speaking practice video by Johnny IELTS. Today's Miss Anh Thư is going to do her speaking practice. Be awesome today. Okay, microphones on, please. No, don't turn it off. Okay, so first of all, let's do part one. Okay. Let's start with something super far away. Okay, let's do 92. Collecting things with full tap. Sưu Okay, collecting things. So do you collect things, Miss Antu? 92.
Well, I do collect things like some uh, simple things of life. I can collect books or sometimes stickers, that are my favorite, and I usually keep them in my table where I study so that I can use them or see them frequently.
Mhm. I see. So do you usually keep the things you need or just the things you just collect and then a lot of the time when you need them, you never know where they are, no?
Well, I usually keep the things I need, at the place where I look at the most. For example, on my desk where I study, or maybe on my bed also,
Mhm.
because I always have to keep those I always have to see them, because when I put them away, uh, store it, sometimes I will forget the
I put them
place.
right. You
So
want
yeah, I
them?
always have to keep in places I can usually see, look at.
I see. So are there anything you keep from your childhood? It must be in a long time.
Well, actually, I do keep many things from my childhood. It they can be my pictures, like when I was small, or
Hmm.
maybe some toys I used to play when I was a child. So yeah, I do keep things in my room from my childhood.
I see. And would you keep old things for a long time? And why? Why not? Old things. So it means that vintage, like vintage antiques, vintage clocks, vintage objects, something like that. Would you keep old things for a long time?
Well, it depends on what kind of old things. Well, if that item is still usable and I
Mhm.
can still use those, then I probably will gonna keep it, going to
Going
keep
to
them for
probably I
a
will. I'm going to keep
long
it.
time. Yeah, for a long time. But
Mhm.
if they are no longer of any use and they are old, too old, and maybe they can
You
be
know, how do they say clutter? They clutter your life, you know. They makes you feel like you are burdened. They burden you. So or they clutter you. They clutter your life, you know. It makes like your life feel heavy that you have to carry them like the object that no longer serve you, yeah. So that's why I suggest people downsize, you know. So they need to downsize or to cut back on things they own, okay? Or you can just say get rid of stuff, get rid of things, get rid of items, get rid of items they don't need. Now, so that's about collecting things. Okay, let's start. Let's go to our neighbors, which is 95 here. Do you know your neighbors?
Definitely, I do know my neighbors. Actually, I live in a quite small neighborhood, so I think every, every house, everybody knows each other, and we often sit and talk to each other for hours about our life. So yeah, I know my neighbors pretty well.
Mhm. I see. Do you often talk to your neighbors? And what do you often talk about?
Well, I used to talk to my neighbors a lot when I was small. But when I grew up, I find myself much more busier with my work. So I don't usually talk to them anymore. But yeah, I still like talk to them like at least once or twice a week, just to catch up with the things around my life. And
Mm-hmm.
we often talk about maybe uh, the life of other people. Like we chat, we talk about that, or maybe the news around the world. And yeah, we discuss many different things.
I see. What do you think of your neighbors?
Well, I think my neighbors are extremely friendly people. I mean, they are really helpful. Whenever I need help, they are always willing to give me a hand.
Wired, wired.
Give me a hand. Like when I have to go somewhere and I need somebody to give me a ride, they will definitely help me. So I think they are really good and really, and I think we are really on good terms with each other as well.
I see. So how do you get along well with your neighbors then? Is there any secret?
Well, actually, I think there is no. I think there are many ways that I get along with my neighbors. It
Mm-hmm.
it depends on each individual. I have different ways to like communicate with them. Mm, When I talk to the older people, I often like act in a very obedient way, and like I talk very uh, I talk very with I talk
Mm-hmm.
really like friendly with them, and with younger people, I always like try to find that what they like, and I will like act in the way that they want. Like I think it's in my nature that how I
Mm-hmm.
get along with my neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
I just know how to do it.
I see. I see. Well, keep it up because that's an ability that it's so vital, I think, to make friends and to keep good relationship with with the others. I think it's a very, very essential skill. Now, so do you think it's important to have a good relationship with neighbors?
Definitely, I think it's crucial to have a good relationship with neighbors. First of all, I think when we are on good terms with our neighbors, I think we can receive help and care from those neighbors whenever we need. Mm, and I think that will help us to, and I think that would help us to develop in the best way. And moreover, I think having a good relationship with neighbors does help us to boost our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you lived in a place where you don't get along with your neighbors and people always argue or have conflicts, I think your emotions will be negatively affected, and you will always feel upset or annoyed by those conflicts, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you may be involved in those as well. So I think it is not a good thing to like
To
have
make war with them, to have
yeah
enemies living nearby.
yeah
Well, that's a crazy way to say don't have enemies nearby. You know. Well, if you believe in feng shui, They say that the best feng shui is actually the people living around. The best feng shui, I think, is the people who live around you. If you don't get along well with the others around you, that's really bad feng shui. It doesn't matter if you have plants, if you have like mirror, if you have anything that can cause good feng shui in your house, but if you don't have a good relationship with your neighbors, you fight all the time, or your neighbors is loud, or if their dog keep barking all the time, it's not good feng shui. You won't feel good living in that neighborhood, you know. Anyway, all right, that's 95 now. Let's go to part 2 and part 3. Okay. Okay, try number 3. Describe a person who you think wears unusual clothes. Unusual clothes here means like they just look weird. They just look different from the others, you know. You should say who this person is, how you knew this person, what his or her clothes are like, and explain why you think the clothing is unusual. Like, think about the fabric. Think about the different fabric. And think about the color choice, the choice of color or color choice. Think about how long or short the sleeves are. Cái tà áo nó dài hay ngắn cỡ nào. How long or short the sleeves are. Think about how long or short the skirts are. Something like that. And we have part 3 of unusual clothes. Do you think what people wear can influence their mood? Like, think about the mood of people in that particular day, or if you do wear inappropriate clothes in, let's say, a very hot weather, and you wear like many layered clothes, you would feel really hot, and you feel bad, and you feel like you want to attack people, you know. You wouldn't feel great. Think about the weather, think about how it can affect their mood, think about the color choice, you know. How does it affect their mood? And think about the fact that some people are forced to wear uniforms, you know, like school students, for example. How does it influence their mood then? I don't think school students ever feel good in uniforms, ever. I remember when I was a student, I never really feel good in uniforms, so it was just like meh, you know. Anyway, think about that. And also, what people wear can, of course, influence their comfort. Think about shirt and tie in the workplace, you know. Work clothes are often not comfortable, okay? They look good, but they're often not extremely comfortable. So sometimes it can make people feel like, makes people feel like restricted. They can make people feel restricted in their movement, you know. And of course, if you work in the office, you will probably gain weight, you know, and your clothes will not expand. So it actually restricts your movement even more. It makes you feel uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Of course, it can influence your mood greatly. Think about that. Now, next question. Do you think it's a good idea to buy clothes online? I think you know how to answer this question. Now, what kind of clothes do people wear in the workplace? It depends on a lot of different factors, like what kind of workplace you're talking about, yeah? We should split into different cases, you know? Now, what are the differences between clothes worn by old people and those by young people? Think about color choice, fabric, think about any special features. Think about any special features in clothes. Like, for example, sometimes old people, they like to wear more layers of clothes because they often feel colder, you know, because they are, how can I say, their tolerance for cold weather, it's not as good as the young, you know. Người già chịu lạnh đâu tốt bằng người trẻ đâu. Yeah, so of course their tolerance for cold weather is not as good as the young. So what does it mean? they normally wear more layers of clothes, no? And then what else? What else? Next question. Do you think that clothes reflect a person's point of view, opinions about many things? Well, think about point of view opinions if they support the LGBTQI plus community. They would wear colorful clothes, 6 different colors actually. 6 different colors in a multicolored shirts. For example, multicolored shirt, áo lục sắc. Well, think about if they support any kind of political system, hệ thống chính trị. If they support, let's say, if they are more conservative. You know, conservative, bảo thủ. Conservative means you don't want things to change that much. You want things to remain the same. And they would probably wear suit and tie, you know. I mean, that's just how it is. They can wear jeans or anything that is quite old-fashioned, you know, I would say. But if you are more open-minded, you will probably try to dress differently compared to the rest of the people, you know. Think about that. If you support feminism, chủ nghĩa nữ quyền phải, phong trào nữ quyền. If you support feminism and women's rights, you would probably wear clothes that reflect femininity, you know, reflect like female features. Like, for example, there are some men who support feminism. They try to wear skirts similar to ladies, you know, and walk together with ladies, the women's, in protest, you know, những buổi mà protest, biểu tình, to support women, something like that. All right, you have some time to think about number 3 now. Okay, Ms. Thư, please describe a person who you think wears unusual clothes.
So I'm going to talk about my neighbor who is currently working in the fashion industry. She usually chooses the clothes which give her a distinctive identity, and they have very bright colors and unusual designs, because she believes that the colors of the clothes she's wearing is going to like boost her mood and help her to feel confident throughout the day. And I remember that it was in winter, in December, and it was extremely cold outside, but she still chose to wear a skirt and crop top because she thinks it's very fashionable and trendy, and it also matched her vibe on that day. And she said that it was, I think, she thought that wearing clothes should be about her should make her feel comfortable, and despite the weather, and whenever she feels comfortable, then she can be productive throughout the day, and she could do a lot of things that is useful during the day. So yeah, I think is my neighbor whose outfits are really unusual.
Okay, good. Now let's go to part 3 now. Do you think what people wear can influence their mood somehow?
Definitely. I think that what people wear can definitely influence their mood. For example, in case of hot weather, if you wear something like gives you something cool and it it doesn't make you feel hot, I think it will help you to feel comfortable and feel more energetic during the day, and you can also be much more productive than those who
Mhm.
wear long sleeve shirts or trousers, jeans and a coat during hot weather, because that can make them feel that can make them feel hot, and sometimes the heat can make a lot of people feel annoyed and irritated during the day. Um, and sometimes uh, the color choice can also influence the mood. If people choose to wear bright colors, such as blue or red, I think influence it influences their mood, because it brings a vibe of like energy and enthusiasm. But if people wear something dark like black or gray, I think maybe their mood is not too good, and they uh, and they have and they will feel probably a bad feeling about on that day.
Mhm. I see. Now, think about what I just said about uniforms. What do you think about that? Do you think people are comfortable with wearing uniforms? And how does it influence their mood then?
Well, I think when people are forced to wear a uniform, they will feel really uh, restricted, and they are not allowed to. Some people they feel that they are not allowed to show off their identity. Like they want to wear the clothes that matches um, their feeling on that day. But when they are forced to wear a uniform, they will not be able to feel that way anymore. Uh,
Hmm.
and for example, many schools in Vietnam, many female students are forced to wear áo dài. I mean,
Hmm.
on maybe some are forced to wear
You
during
mean the
the week.
traditional dress of Vietnam? When you mention something that is not English, you should probably try to explain what it is, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, let's
Um,
try that again. So, what do you think about people having to wear uniforms? How does it influence their mood then?
mm, I think it can make them feel restricted and not able to show off their own identity. For many young people, I think that's really important. For example, many schools in Vietnam, many female students in Vietnam, they are forced to wear áo dài, a
Hmm.
traditional clothes of my country, and it has really and it's and many students they say that the clothes cause them a lot of trouble when they walking, because of the long shirt. I mean, they can easily stumble on it when they walk.
Hmm.
And also during days when during summer days, uh, because the clothes are really they are tied to your body, so
Hmm.
you will people wearing them will feel really restricted, and it will really hard to do any activity in those clothes. So I think those troubles can cause many annoyance to the students, and sometimes they will feel really, and sometimes it even makes them like
Yes.
dislike their own traditional clothes.
Okay, so do you think it's a good idea to buy clothes online?
Well, I think buying clothes online has its own merits and demerits. Well, it can be a good idea if when you buy clothes online is that you can save a lot of time traveling to uh, to shops, to malls in order to buy clothes. Instead, you can just stay at home and choose whatever you want online.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just have to wait for a few days, a few weeks to get them delivered to you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Uh, However, buying clothes online does have some disadvantages because sometimes you will face there are many shops who like scam you, and first they will tell you to transfer them your money, and then they will not give you their products. And the cases happen a lot where
Mm-hmm.
in many places in the world, and yeah, it can be a downside of buying clothes online. Um, Moreover, sometimes the clothes are not really of. Um, Sometimes the clothes will not live up to your expectations.
Very good to live up to your expectation.
Yeah,
Why? What could be the problems?
sometimes the size is not appropriate, or maybe the fabrics are not they are not your type. It's not what's your favorite. Sometimes there are many fabrics that cause that traps that are that when people wear some kind of clothes during the summer, it can they will feel really restricted and they will feel really hot in the clothes. And instead, when you buy clothes on in shops or in shops, I think you have a better chance to like assess your choice of buying. So I think it buying clothes online can be a good idea if you know how to if you know good shops and you know
Yes.
how to like choose appropriate clothes for you.
Mm-hmm. I think, okay, so what kind of clothes do people wear in the workplace then? Remember, it's not only uniforms. It depends on workplace. What kind of workplace you're talking about?
What people wear in the workplace depends
Mm,
on various factors about their gender or their many types of workplace which require different kinds of clothes. Or, well, regarding the gender, men usually wear like suit and tie, and women usually also wear shirt and maybe a dress as well. But uh, it but it also associates with the environment, the kind
mm.
of workplace you work. For
You
example,
mean
if
the
you work
environment they
in
work in?
yeah, like if you work in an environment that everybody is friendly and they do not have any rules regulations about how you wear, like
Mm,
in fashion industry, I mean, people can wear whatever they want, whatever show off their identity and show off their creativity.
mhm.
But in other workplaces, in many companies, like they have rules about what people have to wear. Maybe they even have a uniform in order to like have a united image of the company. Like everybody, I think they want to show to convey a message that everybody is treated fairly and no one is
I think it's a
exploited.
uniform image. You know, uniform as an adjective, a uniform image of a company. united. It's when every country or every company or come together to work together, But I think in this case, it's not the word you're looking for. It's uniform, đồng nhất. All right, so what are the differences between clothes worn by old people and those by young people then?
Well, there are many differences between clothes worn by old people and by young people.
Mm-hmm.
It can be about the color choices, or the fabrics, or the special features that have on that are on their clothes. In terms of old people, they have a tendency to choose more more. They have a tendency to choose simpler clothes and have um, have few unique features, and they also tend to wear clothes which have more layers, because they will feel like they are, because it can be their habit, and they are more tolerant than young people nowadays. And I think
Hmm.
old people, they often choose darker color, like so they wear brown. I think that's the most popular color that
Mm-hmm.
older people
I
choose.
see. Now, do you think that clothes reflect a person's point of view or opinions about many things? Like, for example, political view, or maybe they belong to a group of, let's say, a particular group in a society or something.
Yes, I think that what people wear does reflect their point of view or opinions about many things, because clothes are what people show off. Like when people look at somebody, clothes are probably the first thing that people look at. So it can tell a lot about that person. For example, when many people who belong to the LGBTQI plus
Mhm.
community, they often choose clothes that have six different colors, like in their
I think
flags.
it's better to explain what the terms, the abbreviations are. So L stand for lesbian.
Yeah, gay,
So
for
G is
gay,
gay,
and
uh, B is
bisexual.
bisexual, T is transgender, chuyển giới, transgender, uh, Q is queer, sorry, it's called pronounced like queer, and I is intersex, liên giới, and there's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I think at least like 17. If I remember right, I read about it. It's like at least 17 different kind of sects that exists in humanity, I think. Yeah, so let's continue from there. So what do you think about those clothes worn by those people? Does it reflect their point of view, opinions about many things?
Yeah, I think people wearing those uh, colorful clothes, that they want to they want to show their support to the community, and also I think it's a way to maybe to boost their confidence. Like it helps them to be more resilient, be
Hmm.
more brave to like come out and to show the world that they are proud to be who they are.
Hmm. They're proud to be different, right?
Yeah.
They're proud to be different.
Uh,
Oh well. How about political view then? If you like, for example, during an election, you know, in other country, if you support a party, let's say people often wear a blue or red color, to support the left or the right party. cánh tả cánh hữu. Well, there's just some more ideas for you. Now, or if you support veganism, like veganism is a people who only eats plants, only, okay? Strict veganism, ăn chay trường luôn á. So, of course, you would wear clothes that has a green color more, you know, to support, to basically, or if you have a view against animal cruelty, so đối xử ngược đãi với động vật, if you are against animal cruelty, you would probably wear clothes that has some kind of message, you know, messages on the clothes that say, stop animal cruelty or something like that, you know. In Vietnam, you might not see that much, but in other country, you will see that a lot. Now, so let's move on to another one. Okay. This is number 3 now. So let's try something. Let's try number 8 then. Describe a time when you worked in a group. 18, sorry. Describe a time when you worked in a group. You should say when it was, what you did, who you worked with, and explain why you worked in a group. You have part 3 of team working. Do you think team working is important? Think about it, this kind of world. If you work alone, is it actually a good idea? Of course, it's a good idea because I work alone all the time. So anyway, so actually team working, I think it's just people just make it too important, you know. But I think teamwork is not for everybody. You think about it and think about the situations where you have to teamwork to get things done. Okay. Then how do people improve their team working skills? Think about how you can learn how to communicate better. How? Probably people think that team building will help with team working, but I don't think so. Team building, it's a very weird culture, especially in Vietnam, because you are forced as workers, you are forced to enter into like games, into you're forced to join in games with all the other people, and you're forced to do physical activities with other people, and people think that that will improve the connection between the members of a team, but to be honest, no, it doesn't, not really. There are mixed results, you know. They're mixed result. Not really. So think about other ways to improve team working skill. If you teamwork with people, you have to trust people. So trust is a very important issue here. How do you help people to build trust? Think about that. Well, if you cannot teamwork very well if your boss forces you to do the job that you are not trained for. Like that is a very common issue in Vietnam. People have to do jobs they are not trained for, or they're not good at, you know. And in a team like that, it is very tough to work together that way because nobody is really professional in their field, you know. And you have to think about the clashes between personality, between personality. Of course, clashes, personality clashes happen a lot when you teamwork. Think about that. So how do people improve that? Now, do you think that team working is for everybody? Why not? Like I already said to you, I do think that team working is not for everybody. But why? You think about it. Moment, please. Okay. I just cleaned my, I just had have my air cons clean, and now it's super cold inside here. Anything. Okay, so think about the fact that some work requires, how can I say, very high concentration in order to finish it quickly. Like, for example, freelance work, freelance jobs. And when you teamwork, it actually takes much more time to get things done, to get everything done, and to get people happy, So it depends on the nature of the work. Nó tùy vào cái bản chất công việc nữa. And it depends on the personality. Some people, they don't work well with the others. For example, I'm an example. And you have to think about the fact that, yes, it's true that some work requires team working, and it is impossible to get things done without the help of your colleagues at all. But in general, team working is not for everybody. I mean, that's just what I think. Now, okay, so what are the problems that can arise when team working? You should give examples, Now, what are the problems that can arise when team working? Think about personality clashes. Think about what I just said about if your teammates are incompetent. If your teammates are incompetent, they don't know exactly what they're doing. So if you know what you're doing, you will have to be the one who do the most jobs, the most work, the most work. And this situation happens a lot in Vietnam, incompetent teammates. Bạn cùng team mà không biết làm gì đó. It's like they're incompetent, and they actually depend on you to get all the work done, and then of course they take the credit for it. They take the credit for the job, for the work, for the job. A very common issue in Vietnam. Now, and also think about the fact that some people are just not compatible with each other. When you work together with them, it's a real pain. It's a real pain to work with people who doesn't like each other, Okay, so those are the problems. I'm sure you have teamwork before. You should know the answer for this. Now, okay, Miss Thư, please describe a time when you worked in a group.
Well, so I'm going to talk about. So when I work, so I'm going to talk about the time when I worked in a group. It was when I had to prepare my presentation for one of my classes at school. So our teammates, I didn't get to choose my teammates. It was our teacher who chose the group for us. So there are many kinds of people who work in this group, and we had a large number of tasks to do to complete the presentation. But my teammates, they were not really friendly, and they didn't really want to do anything. They just wanted to take the credit for the job. So I was the leader, so I had to divide the group into smaller teams so that they can complete their particular tasks, such as the presentation or about the information and the slides. And this experience of working in a group where not everybody was collaborative, it made me realize that sometimes when you worked in a group, you always have to choose appropriate teammates, because it will help you a lot in your progress, and sometimes it can prevent you from having any stress or annoyance from your teammates when they do not when they are not willing to work. So it was my really not really pleasant experience of working in a group.
Okay, very good. Now, so let's go to part 3 now. So, do you think team working is important?
Well, I think whether team working is important, it depends on each individual. There are many people who value team working and consider it as consider it an important uh, thing to do to accomplish any goal because because for them I because for them working with other people helps them to feel much more motivated than working alone. They
Mhm,
will because there are many people who work with them as well, so they always have to catch up with the others progress, and they have to force themselves to move forward so that the whole group will achieve what they want. However, there are many people who prefer working alone because they feel it's they feel they can concentrate more on the task rather than working with other people and having to expose to many different viewpoints, and sometimes they think and sometimes they even have to argue to reach the final decision.
mhm.
And I think people who prefer working alone, they feel it can be a burden to their working. So
Super big burden for me.
yes.
I'm just joking. Of course, actually, it's a big burden. If I had to work for in a team, oh, I would rather get work done by myself. Now, so how do people improve their team working skills now?
Well, I think there are many ways for people to improve their team working skills. First, I think they have to learn how to communicate better with other teammates because communication is the key to any kind of um, work that we have to encounter. It helps you and your teammates to to understand each other well, to get to know more about each other's goals or about the ability that they have, and in order to allocate the assignments that are appropriate to them. And this way it can help the group to achieve its goal much more efficiently than when you do not know how to communicate with each other. Uh,
Hmm.
Moreover, it can be when you have to work with other people. It's important that you have to trust them and they have to trust you as well. I think in order to make your teammates feel that they can rely on you, that they can trust you to do well in your work, I think you should show that you are competent in what you are doing, that you will be sure that the work will be done by time, and you will not be late or will not accomplish the task in a not in an unpleasant way, like like you just want to get it done. I think you have to show efforts, and I think you have to show efforts in what you're doing in order to gain trust from your team workers.
Of course, trust is an important thing, a super important thing. Now, so do you think that team working is for everybody?
Definitely no. I think not everybody is good with. Not everybody wants to teamwork. Mm, for example, first it can depend on the individual, and it can also And second, it can be about the nature of the work, whether it
Mm-hmm.
requires teamwork or not. So first, about the individuals, there are many people who prefer working alone, and they think it can make them much more productive, and they can concentrate more on what they are trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but also there are many people who like the idea of team working because they will feel much more motivated when working with other people because they're forced to make progress to catch up with their teammates.
Mm-hmm. I
But
see. So, what are the problems that can arise when team working? Then I already told you some. Yeah.
yeah, team working, it can be there are many problems that can arise. It can be about the different personalities or different point of views because there are many people who are like they are gentle and they will settle down for whatever that the others uh, put forward. But there are many people who like they want to they always want to voice they want to um, express their opinions,
Mm-hmm.
and like sometimes even in a rude or really aggressive way, and it it can cause conflicts between among the teammates. And
Mm-hmm.
when you have conflicts, you cannot concentrate on what you are trying to achieve, and it can slow down the progress of the task of the assignment that the team is trying to work on. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that can be a really downside of
Nobody
teamwork.
wants to work with problematic teammates. Trust me. But the problem is, a lot of the time, you're forced to do that. Anyway, so do you think, okay, so yeah, I don't think I should ask you the last question. Do you think team working for everybody? I don't want to do that. Anyway, that's 18 for you. Um, let's try something else. Did we do 22? No, we haven't. Okay, let's do 22. Describe an event you attended in which you didn't like the music played. You should say what the event was, where you were, what the music was like. Explain why you did not enjoy the music. Okay, and then you have actually a lot of part three question. What kind of music do people like at different ages? Think about different age groups, how you were when you were children, when you were a child, and when you grew up a little bit more, your music taste changed. And just go with the age group, yeah, and think about what the older people will prefer to listen to, you know. Now, what kind of music is popular? So you should also explain why they prefer softer, more melodic music compared to younger people. We like more upbeat music, you know. Think about our health, that we can dance to such music or something like that. Something like that. What kind of music is popular in your country now, and what kind will be in the future? Well, this one requires some prediction, isn't it? Now, of course, now it's rap and pop music in Vietnam, and EDM as well, electronic dance music. You should explain what it is, you know. So electronic dance music, EDM. But to be honest with you, um, the live music scene in Vietnam is actually dying. It's a bit dying now, to be honest with you. It's not like before, because these days venues they prefer to have EDM. They prefer to put on like YouTube and other kind of website, you know, so they don't have to pay for musicians, you know, they don't have to pay for DJs. Just to save money, you know, and that's why it's harder and harder for musicians to find shows, and that's why I say the live music scene is dying in Vietnam, I think. I mean, more or less dying. Right. So think about how it will be in the future. So you should predict a bit, try to predict a little bit. Maybe maybe in the future people will just stop going to concerts and then maybe just stay home and listen to electronic music maybe. And but it depends on people. Of course, a lot of people now they still like piano music, classical music, and some softer. So I think that basically there will be a variety of music still. People there will be a lot of different kind of music in the future, yeah. Now, so do Vietnamese parents require their children to learn to play musical instrument? Why not? Big question. A doubting one. Of course. If you go abroad, you will see that a lot of Viet Kieu family, they do this. It's like I've never seen a Vietnamese family who were born and raised or who are working in a country that is not Vietnam. And I've never seen any family like that not requiring their children to learn to play musical instrument. Most of the time it's gonna be the piano, most of the time, or the violin or the guitar, you know. So it's very similar to South Korea and South Korea, the Philippines, or China. So why do they require children to learn to do that? Does it help them their future in any way? And why are Vietnamese parents so into asking the children to learn how to play? Why? Think about that. Now, why do some people like to listen to live music while others prefer recorded music? Well, recorded music like you know, go to Spotify or YouTube or other websites. These are recorded music. Live music, you have to buy tickets to go to shows. And why do people do that? Why people still go to shows? Do they meet their friends there? Do they build new connections there and enjoy the time better? I think it could be like a kind of appointment, you know, a very fruitful and fun, entertaining night with your friends and your loved one if you invite them to live music shows, you know. And there are more things about music in live music compared to recorded music. Of course, recorded music will always be of higher quality than live music. It's a certain thing that will happen, you know, higher quality. But the problem is you listen to recorded music alone. Most of the time you listen to it alone. When live music goes on the show, I mean, when it's on air, you feel it, you feel the atmosphere, you feel the vibe, and you can dance together with it. And if the musicians see it, they will be able to play music better, you know. And so everyone is a win-win situation. It's a win-win situation now. And of course, it's an how can I say, unforgettable experience to people if they go to live music shows. Now we have part three of music concerts now. Why do many young people spend a lot of money on music concerts? Well, think about what happened during Blackpink concert. I think it happened last year, no? Was it last year or was just a few months ago?
Last year, actually, it's almost a year.
Oh, time passed by so quickly, yeah? Anyway, why do many young people spend a lot of money on music concerts? You know, some people they spend at least like 10 million, 20 million Vietnam dong on a ticket to Blackpink concerts, for example. And you know, they don't even make that much money. So of course, their parents have to sponsor their um, experience. And so the question is, why do they do that? Is it because their mindsets are different compared to the previous generation? They live in the moment and they enjoy every moment of it because they know that once they are no longer young, they cannot be able to go to live concert anymore because of their health, or maybe because of how can I say, their work requirements, something like that. You know, they like to live in the moment. Exactly that's what YOLO means. You only live once. Okay, so maybe there should be other reasons. Maybe they go to music concerts to enjoy the time with their loved ones, with their friends, you know. But the question here is why? And then a lot of money. Why do they do that? Why are they ready to do that, you know? Like, for example, if Taylor Swift ever hold a concert in Vietnam, I'm sure people will be will be like crazy over her, and then they will spend like a lot of money, just like Blackpink, I'm sure. Or maybe Adele, yes. Or maybe Britney Spears. Okay, Britney Spears and Adele is a bit older now, but I'm talking about, let's say, Taylor Swift, yeah. Now, do you think older people like the same music as young people? It is very similar to the question about clothes, you remember? Now, I think you should know the answer for this. Now, it depends on the situation. I have personally know some old people who like new music, you know? So I personally know people who are like 40, 50, they listen to Taylor Swift, something like that. They're very open-minded to new things. Now, do you think music concerts are suitable for old people to attend? How about children? Think about music concerts. Is it outdoor or indoor? Trong nhà hay ngoài? If it's indoor, it's much more safer because you have chairs. There are chairs there. And you tend to sit down and enjoy it. So it's much more safer for young children and for old people. But think about outdoor music concerts. People tend to stand, or if they sit down, well, the chairs can be moved. And think about if the crowd gets out of control due to the music, what would happen? Think about what happened in Itaewon in South Korea. You remember that incident, right?
Yeah.
What happened then? I don't remember what exactly. Was it a music concert?
Yeah, it actually on Halloween, like
Hmm.
yeah, and people like there are so many people, and
So the
there were
spirit took some people.
yeah, and they got
How ironic.
yeah,
Thật là mỉa mai. Actually, it's ironic. That happened exactly at Halloween, I think. Tragic and ironic at the same time. Well, think about the safety of people, you know, and think about if you have a music concert sometime, if old people attend, if they have any health problems, it will be difficult to get them out and go to the ambulance, to the hospital, you know. And about children, think about how children, they can make a lot of noise, they can cry and disturb, they can cry and they can disturb the performance, you know. Not only that, there's a reason why many how can I say, music venues, they have a restriction that no children below the age of 6, you know, no children below the age of 6, because you don't want running children around in a music concert and making noises, you know, making noise. You don't want that. And also think about the fact that wherever there are a lot of people, what would happen if someone step on them, you know? It can be dangerous. It can be life life-threatening. It can be life-threatening to old people or children. Exactly, that's the story of Itaewon. Very, very tragic. Okay, think about, okay, so why do shopping malls often have background music? Think about what they're trying to attract. They use essential oil, you know? You can talk about essential oil, tinh dầu. They use essential oil and anything that smells good in order to lure customers into their stores. Dụ dỗ khách hàng vào cửa hàng của họ. Same thing with background music. If people enjoy the aircons, if people enjoy the music, they will stay there longer. Of course, they will make more purchases. They will make a purchase there. And it boosts sales. It boosts sales. Thúc đẩy doanh số bán hàng. And think about the longer people stay in malls, in shopping malls, the more they will buy. So some shopping malls, they actually intentionally put chairs, comfortable chairs in there, you know, so that people will sit down and they will stay in shopping malls. They will buy a lot of objects, a lot of items there. All right, I think that's it about this one. You have some time to think about this topic now. All right, now let's do topic number 22. Describe an event you attended in which you didn't like the music played, please.
So I'm going to talk about a wedding that I attended, and I didn't like the music that were played during that event. It was when I attended my cousin's wedding, and the music was loud and was really loud, and there are some heartbreaking, some breakup songs. However, because the songs were in English, so I think people didn't really understand the lyrics. However, they still have a pretty sad melody, and it can like and it can make people's mood go down. However, people still chose that kind of music. I think it can be it can be my cousin's fault, or it can be the organizers of the wedding. But anyway, I still didn't like the music because I think wedding is should be about like some upbeat music and some music that prompt that about love or
And
about
also some music that has
yeah,
class, you know, nó phải có đẳng cấp. Their
yeah,
music that should be classy
yeah,
or
because
has some class in there, you know.
yeah, because wedding is like a really important stage of one's life, so it
I
should
see.
be taken good care of in every aspect. And the music didn't, and the music like fell short of my expectations. However, I still pretty much enjoyed the wedding despite the unpleasant music, because yeah, I think I can wish them a happy marriage. And yeah, the music didn't really, I think it wouldn't be that wouldn't be such a wouldn't be
Yes.
such a annoyance, such an annoyance.
Okay, remember this is part 2, okay? Careful. Part 2, you only have maximum 2 minutes. If you talk too much, you'll be stopped. And I don't like, it doesn't affect your grades anyway, but it's annoying, you know.
Okay,
All right, so let's try to do 22 again with the time limit, okay? Okay, do it.
so I'm going to talk about a wedding that I attended, my cousin's wedding, about a few months ago, and I didn't like the music that were played. Well, the music was extremely loud, unnecessarily loud, and it and they were all songs about heartbreak. And although I think because the songs were in English, so people didn't really understand the lyrics. However, I think people should still pay attention to the songs they chose because it can be of much importance to the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I didn't enjoy the music because I think wedding should be about should have like upbeat songs, and it should be about love, about uh, forever, and to play songs about heartbreak. I think it can be like a bad sign, so it's not really recommended,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I didn't like the music because I also think wedding is an important event of one's life, and it really should be taken well
Mm-hmm.
care of. So I think that's why that's an event that I attended, and I didn't like the music that were played there.
Okay, very good. It's 1.5 minutes. Very good. Now let's go to part three of music now. So what kind of music do people like at different ages?
Well, as people grow old, their tastes in music change as well. Well, when people were small, were young, were children, they prefer when people are children, they prefer songs that are from like cartoons, like and have some funny lyrics, and it can also be the songs can also have lyrics to help them learn about their uh, learn about their surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
As and when they grow older, when they become adolescents, they or when they become adolescents and maybe like adults under 40, people will probably uh, prefer music that people prefer upbeat music, music that they dance can vibe with. Mm, I think it because they are young and they are really energetic, and they want music that can match their vibe, their
Mm-hmm.
enthusiasm, their energy, and it can help them to really stress or like to
Wait, did you say release stress? It's
yeah
relieve stress.
relieve.
Careful,
Yeah.
there's nothing called release stress. That is a direct translation from Vietnamese to English. We don't say that. We say reduce stress or relieve stress. Okay? Careful. Cẩn thận nha. Careful. Now, đừng có dịch tiếng Việt tiếng Anh vậy đó. Không có release stress nha, không có xả stress kiểu vậy đó nha. All right, so what kind of music is popular in your country now and what kind will be in the future?
Well, in my country nowadays, mm, the kinds of music that are popular are rap, pop music, and electronic dance music. Well, because my country has a pretty young population, and many people will, many young people they prefer upbeat songs, and they they have a preference for songs that they can vibe with or they can dance with their friends.
Mhm.
And I think in the future, I think maybe some soft music because I
Yes.
think as life gets busier and people have to face up to many problems in their life, I think people will prefer some soft music when uh, because they like want to relieve stress and they want to gather their thoughts
Mhm.
when they listening to like some soft music, they
Mhm.
can calm them.
You
So
know, but this question is about prediction in the future as well, you know?
uh,
Think about, okay, so what do you predict?
I I don't think I have any. I think
All right, so give some prediction. Like for example, think about the AI. AI actually can already compose a lot of songs according to formulas, you know. Artificial intelligence can do that. So think about the fact that in the future, probably people will be so fed up with AI generated music, you know, and AI generated videos. They will start to value human-made videos and human-made music more. Probably they will go back into their roots, you know, quay trở về cái cội rễ. They will go back to their root and compose songs in the old-fashioned way, I think. So probably pop music in the 80s, in the 70s, in the 90s way will how can I say, resurface. The verb resurface mean they appear once again, you know? They appear once again. That's just my prediction. I'm not so sure, but just my prediction. Okay, now next question. Do Vietnamese parents require their children to play musical instrument? Why not?
well, I think it depends on many situations and many parents. There are many cases where there are many regions that where parents they do not really value the importance of musical instruments, and they regard them as as unnecessary and not really useful for their children's future. And instead, they would want their children to learn more about the academic subjects because they believe it can be a better way to thrive in the
Mhm.
future for their children, a better path to grow. However, there are many parents who really who like they know the value. They want their children to learn how to play
Musical
because
instrument, musical instrument.
musical instruments because they can be like they understand that children can get a lot of satisfaction from playing musical instruments, and sometimes when some children are uh, good at good at any instruments like playing the piano or the guitar, uh, their children can actually uh, earn money by playing those instruments. Like, for example, they can play the piano in many places, like in the restaurants where people eat, or they can play guitar at many cafe, like to satisfy people's, like to cheer people up. So I think whether Vietnamese parents like they want their children to learn to play musical instruments or not, it depends on their viewpoints of the importance of musical instruments, or it depends on their viewpoints and their understanding of their children's needs.
Okay. Right. Okay. So why do some people like to listen to live music while others prefer recorded music then?
Well, I think the reason is that when uh, when people there people who like to listen to live music, they have to they want to have the chance to meet other people who have the same interests as them, and they can dance and feel the vibe with those people, and it can help them to maybe it can be a way to relieve stress for them, and it can help them to entertain themselves from the terrible traumas that they are going through. And for them, uh, being being able to listen to live music, it can be an unforgettable experience for them. And those kind of memories, those kinds of good memories, it will help them to it will help them to try better in their life. Like they feel motivated to work more in order to have more chances to go to those live, to go to listen to those live music. However, there are many people who prefer recorded music because they feel like they do not have to spend money to buy tickets in order to listen to music when they can stay at home, when they can stay at home and listen to music on their own without being interrupted by anyone, or they just merely don't like the idea of being surrounded by many people, and sometimes it can be too noisy for them to listen to music. So I think there are many factors regarding this issue.
Okay. Now, so let's go to music concert part 3 then. So why do many young people spend a lot of money on music concerts then? Oh, just a moment, please. Just give me a moment, please. Okay, so back to the question. Why do many young people spend a lot of money on music concerts then?
Well, I think the main reason why young people like to spend a lot of money on music concerts is because they want to meet their favorite singers, or yeah, uh, because many young I think young people nowadays, they always have some idols, some of their favorite, and they are willing to go to great lengths to meet their favorite singers, to see them live. For example, a Korean group, Blackpink, came to Vietnam last year, and the group was it was internationally famous. So there are many fans that were
Let's
willing
just say
to
fans and followers. I think it's better to say followers.
yeah, many followers, like they were willing to spend up to
Yes.
up to millions Vietnam dollars in order
Mhm.
to get a place in the music concerts. Uh, many people they are really fan of the group, but there are also many people who just like to participate in the atmosphere, and they just want to follow other people without having any particular um, preference for the group. Also, I think young people, they live in the moment because they may not make enough money to go to music concerts, but they will try the best to earn those money because they believe that it can be a lifetime experience, and they may not get to have it again due to many reasons, such as their health or their work conditions. So I think that's why many young people like willing to spend a lot of money on music concerts.
Okay, so do you think older people like the same music as young people?
Well, I think actually it depends on each individual. Mm, I think the majority of older people they have a different taste in music uh, than young people because old people they have a tendency to prefer soft and maybe even historic music, like music reminding them of the past. Um, but there are also many old people who have the same taste in music as young people, such as they prefer upbeat songs, um, or maybe some people some songs that young people often dance to, and the old people they also have the same energy and they can and they share the same interests as young people. For example, there are many people like who are over 40, over 40 or like over 50. They still listen to Taylor Swift, an extremely famous singer with young people because they feel they like the melody or they feel related to the lyrics.
They feel that they can relate to the music. I think it's better to say they feel that they can relate very well to the music, even though all Taylor Swift songs sounds the same to me. I know. I mean, as a musician, I am a musician myself, okay? But I mean, a lot of her songs just sound the same to me. Anyway, so do you think music concerts are suitable for old people to attend? And how about children?
Well, I think whether music concerts are suitable for old people to attend or children, it depends on on many situations. If it is located in somewhere indoors, I think it's much safer for old people and for children. However, uh, regarding outdoor concerts, there are many problems that can arise about the weather. It can be really hot or cold, and old people or children they cannot. Um, they are vulnerable to those kind of weather conditions, and they can easily get sick. Moreover, when moreover, uh, people have to uh, moreover when the people are when there are too many people, uh, old people and children they can suffer from many troubles, like they can feel really out of breath, like there are too many people and they feel really then they feel like they in a cramped place and it's
Mhm.
hard for them to um, get any fresh air, and I think that can affect them in both their physical and mental conditions.
Mm, I think, and also it's life-threatening to people in case, when people attend music concerts, sometimes they are just too energetic that they can cause harm to the others around them. Well, think about rock concert, for example. People can be really wild. People can be really wild, to be honest with you. Now, so why do shopping malls often have background music then?
Well, I think the reason is that they want to attract the customers. Shopping malls often use music that have soothing melody that can attract people attention, and also it can satisfy the customers as well. Uh, it it can be I think having background music is a marketing strategy of shopping malls to lure customers to go to the shops and buy their products.
I think
Because
I can give you some more words here. It's called marketing ploy or gimmick. It's pronounced like gimmick. Not plot, it's ploy and gimmick. Chiêu trò marketing thôi. It's just a marketing ploy or a marketing gimmick of companies and shopping malls included. And it's to lure or to entice customers. Để dụ dỗ khách hàng, to entice people, it mean to lure people into their traps, lure people into their shops. In order to seduce, you can use those words. Seduce. To seduce people. Dụ dỗ con người ta, you know? Okay, so what else then?
and as people they are satisfied with the music, they tend to stay longer in those shops, and when they stay when they and when that case happen, uh, they are likely to buy to make
Sorry, they're
many
likely
more.
to what?
They are likely to make many more purchases, and it can help to boost their sales.
To boost their what? Say again, please.
Boost their sales.
To boost their sales. Yes, very
Yeah.
good. All right, I think that's good enough. Let's go to another topic now. This is 22. Let me say, okay. I don't think we should go to crime because it's 47 already. Okay, so okay, next time let's go to 70, crime, and then we do history, okay?
Yeah.
So it means Wednesday, okay?
Okay.
Just write it down. So and let me know and then reminds me next time, can we?
Yes.
Okay, so can you maybe let's go to 6. Okay, we did this one already. Try something a bit more recent. We did this one already. Okay, 84. Describe a place you visited on vacation and would like to recommend to others. So it means you went there already on vacation, and now you would like to recommend to others. You should say where it is, when you went there, what you did there, and explain why you would like to recommend it to others. And then part 3, what are some popular attractions that people like to visit in your country? Think about I don't think you should mention museums because these days people don't like museums that much. You can mention museum, of course. Think about làng nghề, how's it called? Handicraft villages, I think. Or handicraft villages in Vietnam. You can mention old town in many cities. Những cái phố cổ ở nhiều thành phố. In all the cities, there are old town and new town. So in old towns, there are a lot of culture there. So a lot of cultural sites in old town. And those are popular attractions people like to visit in any country, not just Vietnam. Well, other popular attractions can include the houses of that famous people used to live in. Like, for example, the houses that used to belong to Ho Chi Minh, for example, that he used to spend time there during his days, younger days, I don't know where it is right now, but you know my idea. Now, so think about the fact that people like to visit beaches, several beautiful beaches along the coastline of Vietnam. Like, for example, I think Mũi Né is Nha Trang or Vũng Tàu is actually three big major beach city in the south. But to the north, we have Sầm, we have I think Hạ Long as well. I think, right? Is there a beach there over there like that? Of course, there should be, because Vietnam has a huge coastline. The majority of the country is a coastline. So it means that you can build any kind of beach city or town there to attract people to come. Now, so do old people and young people choose different places to go on vacation? Why? Người lớn tuổi và người trẻ tuổi có chọn những cái nơi khác nhau để đi nghỉ mát không? Tại sao? I think it's quite obvious that when you go on vacation, you have to spend the energy to walk around, to visit places, and as you grow older, it's harder and harder to have the energy to do so, right? But young people, on the other hand, they are much more energetic, but it's not all the time like that. Some people just prefer to stay home, like me, for example. Okay, and think about the fact that the attractions to different age group is different. Cái sự hấp dẫn đối với lại những cái nhóm tuổi khác nhau nó khác nhau chứ. Of course, so the majority of younger people these days, they like to check in, It's like a check-in culture. It's like a check-in culture where they go to beautiful, luxurious beaches and resort, and then they check in at those places. But that's just part of the story. Not everyone's like that. So some, they prefer to go to far away or hidden places in order far away from mainstream tourist places, So those hidden places or faraway places, they are way cheaper, of course, and you don't get to meet so many people, so you don't have to share the beach with so many people. And so it means that your vacation is indeed a vacation. You are not going to have to worry about any people begging you to buy items on the streets, something like that, which is a very common problem in Vietnam, actually, in common mainstream tourist places. Now, old people, they prefer to stick to the already beaten path, the already beaten path. So it means that they prefer to go to places that are common and that are so popular to a lot of people. But of course, it depends on their personality as well. Some, they love to explore new places. They explore every nooks and crannies in cities. So they love to explore the alleys, những hẻm hóc nhẹ mà rất là sâu luôn á, và không đi vào nữa. They love to explore alleys and nooks and crannies in big cities, Those alleys, you can find a lot of eateries. You can find houses of artists. You can find a lot of mystery. A lot of mystery, And to a lot of people, that is something that is worth going to. That's an experience that they love to try. It doesn't matter old or young. Think about, okay, next question. What do young people and old people think about when making travel plans? Like when you make travel plans, what do you think about accommodations, where to stay, where to eat, and where to go to, or you just prefer to be spontaneous? Some people, they prefer to be spontaneous, be random. When they travel, they don't plan anything before that. But that can be a way of life, I think. Now, how do people find out about new place? Like, think about what people can search on the internet, on newspapers, through words of mouth, truyền miệng, or something like that. Okay, you have some time to think now. Now, please, Miss Thư, describe a place you visited on vacation and you would like to recommend to others.
So I'm going to talk about Hạ Long Bay,
Mm-hmm.
which is located in the northeast of Vietnam in Quảng Ninh province. I remember I went there about a few years ago with my family during a summer vacation, and we went there because Hạ Long Bay is really famous for its unique scenery, and because it's considered because it is regarded by UNESCO's World Heritage Site.
Mm-hmm.
And when going on a vacation there, I spent much time on a boat and the traveling on the water around many caves, and I also have a chance to go diving to like explore the underworld environment world of Ha Long Bay, and it was extremely amazing. And the reason why I would like to recommend it to others is because it can be an amazing experience because you have a chance to experience many different activities when you are there, and you also have a chance to explore many caves and get to know the place better. And also the water there is really clean, and you can almost see everything underwater. And
Mm-hmm. Crystal
so
clear, right?
yeah, crystal clear.
It's crystal clear. And how about the services?
Yeah, and
Is
the
it
services
impeccable?
are really good, and the people there are extremely friendly,
I
and they
think you
are
can use some
willing
words
to
here.
help.
Flawless service or impeccable service, which mean a 10 out of 10. 10 trên 10 luôn á. A 10 out of 10, which is impeccable service you can think of. Mhm.
Yeah, and impeccable services. And there are many people who can speak many different languages so that they can understand their tourists really well. So I think it's a destination that anyone should recommend to visit when they have a chance.
When they have a chance, right?
When they have a chance.
I see. Now, so what are some popular attractions that people like to visit in your country?
Well, in my country, there are many popular attractions that people like to visit. Well, they can be beaches or handicraft villages, and sometimes cultural sites.
Cultural sites, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, cultural sites. Those
Anything
are the
else?
places that are attract the majority of visitors because in my country I think we have a rich culture, a diverse culture, and it is it is considered unique to both foreign and local tourists. And people can experience people can have a time to experience uh, involving in some kind of creating handicrafts, like how to uh, produce a hat or how to produce baskets
Mm-hmm.
or pottery. There are in Hanoi. There are in Hanoi, the capital city. There
Mm-hmm.
is an extremely famous pottery village that attracts a huge number of tourists every year.
Okay. All right, good, good, good. Anything else? Okay, so do old people and young people choose different places to go on vacation and why?
Well, I think it's definitely. I think old people and young people they tend to choose different places to go on vacation. First, it can be due to their energy. Um, Young people they are more energetic and they prefer places who have many activities for them to experience. Um, and they are enthusiastic about exploring new things. And I think exploring things it intrigues their curiosity
Mm-hmm.
and it gives them a satisfaction of discovering and exploring new uh, activities,
Exploring new activities, new places, new hidden
new
gems.
places. Yeah.
Yes, những cái hòn ngọc ẩn dấu, new hidden gems, things like that. All right, so it depends on people, not just the age, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, I see. I like that answer because people tend to they tend to use a stereotype, that they tend to have a stereotype that young people often choose places like beaches, beautiful beaches, fancy places where all people prefer to just sleep, That's a stereotype. I don't believe that. Now, so what do young people and old people think about when making travel plans then?
Well, I think they have the same considerations when making travel plans. Uh, I think I think they will consider uh, accommodation, the food, or the destinations that they are going to visit, and sometimes the budget they have or how much money they can spend. By making travel plans, I think by making plans about those things, I think it gives people a much it makes people feel more secured. They make those people feel safe, like they know what they are going to do and will not get lost where they visit.
Hmm.
But there are some people like when they travel, they tend to be spontaneous.
I
They
see.
do not usually make plans, and they just go with whatever they have and wherever people lead them. And I think it can be an option for traveling as well.
I agree. Now, so how do people find out about new place then?
Well, I think mm, there are many ways that people find out about new places. Mm, they can discover new destinations on the internet, like on social media like Facebook or YouTube, because those platforms they have many like because those platforms they contain a lot of advertising about
You mean
places,
advertisement? Careful. Advertising is
advertisements.
the act of making advertisement. Advertising is also a field where people work in, ngành quảng cáo advertising. But what you're looking for is advertisement. Okay. Những mẫu quảng cáo. Okay. So anything else?
And also they can find out about new places by word of mouth from people who have already been to those places, and they go back home and then recommend those places to people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. Okay, I think it's good enough for today now. Please remember that next time we'll do something history and something with crime. So I would recommend you just try hard working on those videos, okay?
Okay.
I'll see you then. Good night.
Yeah, goodbye. See
Have a
you.
nice evening. I mean, sorry.